I look at what has happened to Sedina, and then also the revelation that even the wrong she is supposed to have committed was paid for by a successor regime. And you have these elements of this same successor regime criminalizing and saying all manner of things. My heart bleeds. I got into office and I saw certain contracts that have been awarded. And I said, this one, if I feed into it by paying, if I don't sit down with those who had gone into the contract and I pay, I'll be doing the service to Mother Ghana, and tomorrow I may be blamed. And so there are some of the contractors I said, no, I'm renegotiating. Others I said, I'm not paying. If you like, take me to court, because I did not understand the basis for such awards. And so if you are a government and then you see some of these things that have been done wrong, and then you know they were wrong, and you still go ahead to pay, and today you turn around to come and criminalize the one, or to come and talk as if you played no role in this whole issue, then where are we going as a people and as a nation? And what I also want to add is the fact that it's a caution to all political appointees serving in President Mahama's government today. You see, all these things that are happening, she's been the one who is being dragged alone. Mm-hmm. If you get the chance and you are privileged to be given the nod to serve, know that should anything go wrong, you see, the president has entrusted into your care some confidence, believing that you will be able to do it. The president does not come to us on daily basis to tell us, do this, follow the rules, follow the... No. He's entrusted into you a certain confidence that you will be able to help him govern the country, you'll be able to help him prosecute his mandate. And so, if you get that privilege, think about tomorrow, not today.
Okay.
You see, think about tomorrow and not today. Look, we get into office and everybody who knows you are appointed come to you. Give me supply, give me contract, give me supply, give everybody. And I keep asking myself, how do we give those supplies? You are inundated on daily basis. Everybody is coming with paper. Can you give me something to do? But how do we give something to do without following the rules? Okay? The whole of the nation. I mean, this one, my co-panelists here, I'm sure they know what I'm talking about. They create an impression as if once somebody is appointed, then he has the power to just look at his friends, his family members, and get this. You go and do this for me. You go and... No, not me, Prof Gyampo. Who follow the rules. And I'm telling all my colleague appointees that if you don't follow the rules and you allow pressures from other people, give me supply, give me contract, procurement, what are they doing? I want to do some. If they want to do some, let them come and bid competitively. If they win, you know the rules, the processes will show, the system will show that they won competitively. But if you don't do so, and you just allow these pressures to push you into doing certain things, tomorrow, the government of the day may not be there.
Right.
But it is you who will be held for accountability. And you should be thinking about your wife, your children, your well-wishers, and all that. And so for me, what I take from this is the fact, and it's a warning to all of us who have been appointed today, that as you serve the country, as you are entrusted, as the president has reposed into your hands a certain confidence, please serve in a manner that is mindful of what is likely to happen tomorrow. Because I've always said that I don't want, after serving, you should have done things such that anybody who comes to continue from where you've ended will say that you have done well. Okay. Even if they decide to witch hunt, they will do it such that they will find and find and
they
find.
have to disgrade themselves.
Thank you very much.
Before, you understand? So my point is, you should let us, I mean, all the other processes, whether she has rights, human rights, to assert, whether she's entitled to bail, whether she can go on appeal and all that, I leave that to our justice system and our judicial processes. And I hope that our typically brutish attitude would not stand in the way of people's quests to seek or to protect, ensure that their human rights are upheld. Sometimes it becomes a bit, we claim we are a country of law and we believe in rule of law, and yet when the processes are being followed, sometimes we seem to have problems with the very processes that we tout. And so I want to believe that the justice system, the legal processes would handle everything relating to this woman as she's been brought back. But the key lesson is that appointees of today must always act in a manner that shows that they are also concerned about what is likely to happen to them tomorrow, and so that should embolden them, enable them, advise them to do what is right today, so that tomorrow when you are not in office, you can sleep in peace.
A lot of times, I am interested in communicating to the public. So see, my brother Martin is making a huge case about, and Oforiatta paid for the buses, and because of that, hell should break loose. So somebody bought a bottle of water for 10,000 cedis. That bottle of water is ordinarily worth 2 cedis. And that person is not the one to pay, it's a child. Promised 10,000. And when everything was set, the person was demanding the money from the child's parents. And of course, you can imagine, how do you buy water for 10,000? It's because there was a time the child was in public. They have a solution. You have to put water inside to drink. Basically, that boy was going to die. And at the time, he needed water. He should have had it. He didn't have it. Somebody was there and then in the heat of it, blurted that promise. Okay. Is it binding? Mm-hmm. Is it?
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. If you inherit a contract, it is binding. Absolutely.
So that child who recklessly made a promise to somebody that my father can pay you 10,000, give me the water. And the person gave the water and later claimed the 10,000. If the father paid 10,000, is he a fool? If you look at it ordinarily, why do you do that? But if that child had not promised that 10,000 or whatever it is, his life would be at stake. Look, we can argue this ad absurdum. A debt properly incurred is payable, no matter how reasonable or unreasonable it was at the time. Because you don't know some of the issues. Governance is a continuum. Okay? And if you have the time, me and Martin will debate this till we finish. But the point I want to make is this. If a government inherits a debt, and look, we have inherited judgment debts, we have inherited judgment debts, we have inherited all kinds of corrupt debts, we have inherited all kinds of things that don't make sense. Okay? And this is the history. In fact, that is why the World Bank pushed for the law on causing financial loss to the state. Because some people ended up causing losses to the state, which were lawful and had to be paid. So the idea was, well, we will scrutinize the reason why you went there, and when we go after you.
Yes,
okay. When they finish talking, I'll continue.
No, but you see, Alfred, listen, Alfred.
Your microphones are off.
Okay. Alfred, you know what? Kofi had brought an interesting perspective, and it's good for the public.
Yes, that will be debated when you have a contrary.
So, any payment that is made by any public official, first point, it is not their money. They should account for it. Ken Oforiatta should come and account for why he made that payment.
Right.
But to every question, there is an answer. If you don't know it, it doesn't mean there's no answer. All right? So this adds to the calls for Ken to come and do the answer. But Martin and Co should not proceed to say, hey, Ken came and saw a debt on the books and then he paid the debt. And because he paid the debt, Sedina Tamekloe should walk free. That's sophistry. Okay, that is sophistry. That is an absurd interpretation of anything. So, see, let's discard that.
But you see, it comes to the point about, so, for instance, if the analogy that you made, whoever inherited that particular questionable kind of debt, does the person also, if you say it's binding, can't the person also raise queries about exactly why?
That's what I'm saying. To every question, there is an answer. Wait, if he finishes talking, I'll talk.
Okay.
All right. To every question, there's an answer. The fact that you have a question, your child comes and says, I bought water for 10,000, and you are mad and ask why. So Ken should answer why he did it.
Yes. So
okay, which is why Ken should come and answer. But Martin and Co should not sit here and make the suggestion that you inherit government and you inherit debts and you proceed to pay. And because you paid, the person who made the foolish decision should walk free. She should also come and answer. Look, as far as I'm concerned, okay, we need to develop a system in this country, okay, where after every government leaves office, there should be a law that says after every government leaves office, all the appointees of that government should be in this country for a minimum of 12 months. And everything they do should be scrutinized. Oral must be permanent. 1 year after every government, every decision should be gone into. Let's build a whole institution to do that work. All right? Now, why am I saying so? I'm from the Occupy Ghana. We went to court about Auditor General. You know why? Because the systems in place to scrutinize these things as they were going on had been compromised. Nobody was being surcharged. Nobody was, no expense was being disallowed, etc. People were just stealing from the state, left and right. And then when the government goes, everything goes away. And the Auditor General was sitting there. When we got the right person to do the job, MPP came and sacked him. All right? So please, this issue about asking questions and answering it, I think should be institutionalized. But nobody should say, because somebody comes into office and then they make a decision to pay a debt that was previously incurred, means that the person who incurred it previously can walk free. So see, this is about Sedina Tamekloe. Okay? Listen, I'm clear in my mind that there was no intention to bring Sedina Tamekloe back, except for the reason that it was an impediment in their prosecution against Ken Ofori-Atta. Because all of us said that if you have Sedina Tamekloe, who has been tried, convicted, and has escaped justice, is a fugitive, okay, if you have that person, and you are comparing that person to somebody who has not been charged, not been tried when he could have been tried, you have put out 78 charges, which are weak charges against that person, and you are asking for that person to be extradited, there's no way it will happen. When I said it, people came at me and said I was defending Ken, whatever it is. Everything I said has come to pass. Today, Ken is still outside there. He's not coming here. Some of the things I said were actually in the judgment, that it looks like this thing is political. My point is this. Sedinam was an impediment in continuing the prosecution of Ken Ofori-Atta. And so they had to deal with that. How? Because of what I just said. At one, you have two cases. One person has been tried, has been convicted, has escaped justice, and is in the same US. And you are not talking about it. Another person has been accused, has not been even charged. He doesn't know what he's supposed to answer to. He has not been tried when you could have tried him. He has not been convicted, and a trial can lead to a conviction or an acquittal. Okay, there is nothing that gives you a reasonable legal basis to ask for another government to bring that person down when Sedina is sitting there. So I have made my point and I stick with it. Sedinam was an impediment in the prosecution of Ken Ofori-Atta. Because of that, they had to go back and do the right thing by bringing Sedina. They have brought her. That's the proper thing. Now proceed and do justice. You see, somebody said here, I forgot who it was, that oral should be both ways. I think it was you. Okay. Now, if you are talking about oral as in recovering all loot, and I think you talked about the nolli prosequis and co. Yes. Seriously, it beats imagination. Okay, that you come and a case is completed. Wait for the judges to just pronounce guilty or not guilty, and you come and just get rid of all of them. Okay.
I want to put on this. This is one that, when it happened on Tuesday, many, including yourself, who indicated that if the NDC was seeking to bring back Ken Ofori-Atta, there had to be also Sedina Tamekloe coming back. Richard Ahiagba says it has happened, but there's no confidence that really this has done anything to the fight against corruption and ORA, because he can foresee what would be the possible outcome of Sedina Tamekloe. What's your take on this?
Oh, okay. So my first take is that I thought Ahiagba would have started on the note that MPP as a party they are massing up courage, okay, to be able to ask Oforiatta to calm down. Because as a corporate entity, MPP, as a party, I'm sure it's not lost on them that if they really want to come back to govern this country again, then they have to, issue a paper, a statement asking Oforiatta to come. And the way they've been deterring and not showing that clarity of thought, they should know that it means that they are, dampening and eroding their own chances. Because something as simple as saying, Oforiatta, calm down, they are not able to do, and they are waxing lyrical. As I just heard Ayagba talking, I was like, oh, Ayagba is the wrong person to say the things he's saying. You see, he's the wrong person to say those things he's saying. He's the wrong messenger. The first thing he should have started was that MPP will ask Oforiatta to come, and it must be now. So the more they delay on this, then the more it justifies why we booted them out in the manner we did. Look at this. Sedina is a convicted felon, right? And as you rightly stated, we asked that she be brought down. She's been brought down is good, but to spend all the time on Sedina when all the efforts right now should be on Oforiatta, beggars believe. Look, Mr. Okansi, it will never be wiped out that, look, Sedina, the facts, yes, she may get bail, because right now, let's even come to this very salient part that I blame some people for not putting out early. Do you see that Oforiatta was the one who came to pay for the buses in 2018? Have you seen the appeal they filed?
Mm-hmm.
Have you seen it?
The appeal, yes.
Yeah, that Ken Oforiatta, when he became finance minister, came to pay for the buses in 2018. So then the question is, the time we charged Sedina, why didn't we charge Oforiatta? I was like, so what happened? Was there a cover-up? ADG is there. Maybe you can ask ADG to give us more on that side of the facts. So since I saw that part of it, I was like, oh, no wonder Sedina didn't want to calm down, because there's that angle. But they failed to, beat this in the media, let's be clear. So me, since I saw that part that Oforiatta played, that when he came into office, he didn't audit what Sedina had ordered, but went ahead to pay, my thoughts on the case have changed. I'm going 180 degrees. So now I'm keeping a very open mind. It means that it's just that Sedina and her legal team didn't do the right thing by digesting the facts well. We often have volumes of material to digest before coming for this program. So sometimes certain things would escape us. But I'm telling you, Ms. Okansi, this morning that Oforiatta has surfaced again in the Sedina case. That not even in 2017, where you say, because he just took office, maybe he hadn't had time to settle. In 2018, he paid for the buses Sedina had ordered. Why? And Oforiatta is working, and then you see how it brings in my beef with Kisi Ejabin. That this is another case Oforiatta would have been answering for, but for Kisi Ejabin allowing Oforiatta to flee from this country, right? Mm-hmm. So, Mr. Okansi, yes, if Sedina applies for bail and then she gets it, of course, it will not be lost on anybody that Ghanaians would not let that go lightly. We will berate the judicial system. But that's how it is. Because that's a way of also holding the judicial system accountable. But that doesn't mean she shouldn't get bail. Yes, if there are medical conditions, etc., she will get bail. But we should all remember that Ghanaians don't easily forget. No. Ghanaians don't forget. They will take the justice system on. And in that manner, that's giving the justice system feedback. So in that manner, the system becomes stronger. So we think about ways to make the justice system better, ways of improving prison conditions, etc. Today, FPP people will complain about Sedina likely to get bail. But they've forgotten that when Kofi Juma was taken in, Kofi Juma, former MD of GEHOG, he spent most of the time in Kolebu. He wasn't in custody. He spent most of the time in Kolebu that he's sick. So if today Sedina has come in a wheelchair and may not spend much time in Sawam, etc., the point I'm making is that, so it tells you that we have to improve the prison system, the custodies in our police station, etc. That's the actual message. Yes, that's the other side of it.